Kashmir News Service presents.
And music and fine arts in the university and charge you throughout your life to prove worthy of the same.
Thank you, sir. Next, Miss Asra Kamli, School of Applied Science and Technology. Miss Azhar Ufaq Nabi, School of Biological Sciences. Miss Khushbu Ayub, School of Business Studies. Miss Shahina Bulam, School of Earth and Environmental Sciences. Mr. Saeed. Thank you, sir, for honoring the students.
University of Kashmir, Sri Manoj Sinha, Chief Secretary Sri Arun Kumar Mehta, Vice Chancellor Professor Talat Ahmed, Registrar Dr. Nisar Ahmed Mir, students, faculty and other staff members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. May I suppose may I speak a few words in Kashmiri? May I suppose kusi taimilit. Friends, I am delighted to be among you all today in this land of great historical and cultural significance. It has been called Resi Waar, or the land of saints, and has always attracted spiritual seekers from far and wide. I feel blessed in standing on this land, which is not only reservoir of wisdom, but also endowed with unparalleled natural beauty. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate the young students of the University of Kashmir who are being conferred with their respective degrees in this convocation. Ostae Mubarak. I have been told that close to 3 lakh students are receiving degrees today. I am impressed by the numbers. With more than 2.5 lakh bachelors and more than 1,000 doctorates over the past 8 years, the university has made remarkable progress. I would like to tell each of you that your quest for learning and your faith in knowledge as an agent of change are really inspiring. The credit for this also goes to the teachers and administrators of the University of Kashmir. These achievements are not surprising because Kashmir has always been known as Sharda Desh, after the illustrious Sharda Peeth, which was a famous center of learning in ancient times. Equally inspiring is the success of female students. Just about half the students receiving degrees today are women. Not only that, when it comes to gold medals, I am told 70% of the winners are women. It is not just a matter of satisfaction, but also pride for all of us that our daughters are ready to perform at the same level as our sons and sometimes even better. It is this belief in equality and capabilities that needs to be nurtured among all women so that we can successfully build a new India, an India which is at the forefront of the Committee of Nations. Building our human resources and infrastructure are the stepping stones to this higher ideal. Ladies and gentlemen, the cornerstone, as you know, is the first stone set foundation. Education in that sense is the cornerstone in the foundation of our nation building. India has always prided itself in placing knowledge above all. We had great traditions in learning, and Kashmir too has been home to some of them. A need was felt to align modern education with our rich heritage in such a way that it would help us respond better to the challenges of the 21st century. With that vision, a new national education policy was announced last year. I had the opportunity to discuss the subject with the governors of all states, lieutenant governors of union territories, and vice chancellors of central universities in virtual mode. I also addressed a conference on implementation of national education policy in Jammu and Kashmir in virtual mode last September, which was referred to by Honorable Lieutenant Governor. I am pleased to note that some of the features of the new policy have already been initiated at the University of Kashmir. Besides constituting a committee to devise a roadmap for the timely implementation of the policy, several academic courses have been realigned to meet the objectives of this policy. Under the choice-based credit system as outlined in the policy, a credit transfer policy has been adopted to help students complete their requisite credits from the department of institution of their choice. Ladies and gentlemen, another significant feat of this university is the emphasis it has placed on research, which is an important component of the new policy. I am told that the University of Kashmir has the distinction of being one of few in India with a dedicated center for interdisciplinary research and innovations that will encourage young scientists through various fellowships across varied disciplines. The University of Kashmir has added another feather in the cap with the setting up of two centers that are of high importance. One is devoted to glaciology and the other to Himalayan biodiversity documentation, bioprospection and conservation. Then there is also the National Himalayan Ice Core Laboratory. Climate change, as you are aware, is the most critical challenge before humanity in this century. Global warming is making its impact everywhere, but nowhere is it more felt than in the fragile ecosystem of the Himalayas. I am confident that these two centers of excellence and the laboratory will help Kashmir and also show the way to the world in combating climate challenges and nurturing nature. I would like to encourage youngsters to take this opportunity provided by these platforms. They can look forward to a happy combination of a great cause and a great career. Dear students, One of the key aims of the new education policy is to place more emphasis on vocational education. In this area too, the University of Kashmir has been successful in offering skill development certificates and degree level courses. Through its Directorate of Lifelong Learning and Deen Dayal Upadhyay Kaushal Kendra, learning is provided in diversified sectors such as automobiles, textile, agriculture, and horticulture. Above all, I am glad to know that your university has responded to the pandemic in a most praiseworthy manner. The entire world has been facing a difficult time. The coronavirus has impacted all walks of life, and education is no exception. Fortunately, technology provided a solution. Schools, colleges, and universities across India have continued to provide education in the online mode. After the outbreak last year, the University of Kashmir immediately shifted to online modules and made e-resources available to its students. Moreover, it also supported the administration by providing quarantine facilities at its main, north, and south campuses. It shows how a university's contribution to society can go far beyond imparting education. Ladies and gentlemen, Kashmir is a place that defies descriptions. Many poets have tried to capture its beauty, calling it paradise on earth. But it is ultimately beyond words. It must be this bounty of nature that has also made this place a hub of ideas. This valley, surrounded by snow-clad mountains, provided an ideal setting for sages and seers a couple of millennia ago. It is impossible to write a history of Indian philosophy without referring to Kashmir's contribution to it. One of the oldest manuscripts of the Rig Veda was written in Kashmir. This is the most conducive region for the philosophies to prosper. This is where great philosopher Abhinav Gupta wrote his expositions on aesthetics and methods for realization of God. Hinduism and Buddhism flourished here, as did Islam and Sikhism after it arrived here in later centuries. Kashmir is also the meeting point of various cultures. In medieval times, it was of course Lal Ded, who showed the way to bring together various spiritual traditions. In the works of Laleshwari, you can see how Kashmir provides the very template itself of communal harmony and peaceful coexistence. This is also reflected in all aspects of life here, in folk arts and festivals, in food and dress. The core nature of the place has always been inclusive. Almost all religions that came to this land embraced a unique feature of Kashmiriyat that shunned orthodoxy and encouraged tolerance and mutual acceptance among communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to urge upon the younger generation of Kashmir to learn from their rich legacy. They have every reason to know that Kashmir has always been a beacon of hope for the rest of India. Its spiritual and cultural influence has its imprint all across India. It was most unfortunate that this outstanding tradition of peaceful coexistence was broken. Violence, which was never part of Kashmiriyat, became the daily reality. It is alien to Kashmiri culture and it can only be termed as an aberration, a temporary one, much like a virus that attacks the body and needs to be purged. Now there is a new beginning and determined efforts to regain this land's lost glory. Ladies and gentlemen, democracy, I firmly believe, has within it a capacity to reconcile all differences and also a capacity to bring out the best of citizens' potential. Kashmir, happily, is already realizing this vision. Democracy lets you build your own future, a peaceful and prosperous tomorrow. The youth and women especially have high stakes in it, and I am sure they will not let go of this opportunity to rebuild lives and rebuild Kashmir. As Kashmir has turned a new leaf, exciting new possibilities are opening up. The whole of India is watching you with admiration and pride. Kashmiri youth are scaling new heights in a variety of sectors, from civil service exams to sports and entrepreneurial ventures. In September last year, during a consultation on the new national education policy, I had spoken of my dream. I wish to see Kashmir as paradise on earth. I am squarely banking on the younger generation of Jammu and Kashmir to realize this dream, which I am sure will come true sooner than later. Kashmir is bound to acquire its rightful place as the crowning glory of India. Once again, I congratulate all students and also their teachers and wish all of you a successful journey ahead. Thank you. Jai Hind.
मुझे याद है जब न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी पर पहली बार महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी ने 7 सितंबर को देश भर के सभी राज्यपाल, उपराज्यपाल और शिक्षाविदों के साथ एक बड़ा सम्मेलन किया था कि देश की नई शिक्षा नीति जो आ रही है उस पर आगे कैसे बढ़ना है। देश के सम्माननीय प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी भी उस बैठक में थे और जो मार्गदर्शन मिला माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी का, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का, डॉक्टर कस्तूरी रंगन का, उसके तुरंत बाद ही हम लोगों ने एक टास्क फोर्स का गठन किया था और आज जब 1 वर्ष पूरा होने को है तो मुझे प्रसन्नता इस बात की है कि हमारे टास्क फोर्स के सभी सदस्यों ने बड़ी मेहनत से काम करके, जिसमें खुद कश्मीर विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति जी और हमारे अनेक कुलपति शामिल रहे हैं। उस समय जो हमारे एडवाइजर थे के शर्मा साहब, इन सब लोगों ने और हमारे उच्च शिक्षा के जो अधिकारी हैं, मैं कह सकता हूं कि एक मुकाम तक पहुंचाने का काम किया है। 7 सितंबर को मैंने एक प्रार्थना की थी महामहिम जी से कि जो पहली वर्चुअल कॉन्फ्रेंस हम करने वाले हैं इसको लेकर के उसमें आपका मार्गदर्शन प्राप्त हो, और सहर्ष महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी ने उसे स्वीकार किया था और उन्होंने इसी सभागार में हम सब उपस्थित थे और महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी ने दिल्ली से हम सबका मार्गदर्शन किया था। मैं उसके लिए भी विशेष रूप से आपका आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं। आज सबसे बड़ा मसला मेरे लिए है कि इतनी अजीम शख्सियत को लफ्जों में मैं कैसे बयां करूं, लेकिन सभी मुश्किलों और मसाइलों को सुलझाने की तरकीब मुझे लगता है कि खुदा सुझाता है। और उसी प्रकार एक श्लोक मुझे ध्यान में आया कि वासुदेव सर्वसम्मति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभ, ए ग्रेट सोल दैट इज रेयर टू फाइंड। महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी ने शिक्षा, राजनीति, राष्ट्रनीति, संस्कृति, सामाजिक कार्यों और नव मानवतावाद के में जिस प्रकार अपनी व्यापक अंतर्दृष्टि से योगदान किया है, वह इस वर्तमान पीढ़ी तथा भविष्य की पीढ़ी के लिए भी एक समृद्ध विरासत है। यह हमारी खुशनसीबी है कि वह आज हम सबसे रूबरू हैं। विद्यार्थी बहनों, भाइयों तथा हमारे सभी सम्माननीय शिक्षक, अपनी बात आगे कहने से पहले मैं शिक्षा जगत की कुछ चुनौतियों की तरफ आप सभी का ध्यान आकृष्ट करना चाहूँगा। पहली समस्या शिक्षा और वर्तमान जरूरत के बीच सामंजस्य बैठाने की है तथा दूसरी मुझे लगता है कि शिक्षकों और छात्रों के बीच बेहतर से बेहतर तालमेल बैठाने की है, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि नई पीढ़ी के अंदर सांस्कृतिक चेतना एवं वैज्ञानिक रूपांतरण तथा पैंडेमिक के पश्चात विशेष रूप से मार्केट और नई मानवता का माध्यम मुझे लगता है कि शिक्षक ही हो सकता है और वही इस काम को पूरी तरह से कर सकता है। इसलिए मैं मानता हूं कि शिक्षा का असली अर्थ है कि अपने अंदर जो है उसे सहर्ष बांटा जाए। जब गुरु थोड़ा थोड़ा करके अपने आप को शिष्यों में बांट देता है तो शिक्षा और गुरु दोनों का स्वरूप विराट हो जाता है। और हमारे उपनिषदों में भी लिखा है कि आत्मा से परमात्मा तक की यात्रा केवल बांटने से ही पूरी होती है। पुराने समाज को नए समाज को कैसे रूपांतरित करना है, क्या ट्रांसफर करना है, ये सबसे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी मैं मानता हूं कि गुरुजनों की या शिक्षकों की है। और शिक्षक ही एकमात्र माध्यम हो सकता है जिसके जरिए किसी भी देश के अतीत को ध्यान में रखते हुए भविष्य की तरफ अग्रसर हुआ जा सकता है। अगर पुरातन काल से हम देखें तो कश्मीर सिर्फ ज्ञान का प्रसार करने की धरती नहीं बल्कि भारतीय संस्कृति की इस महत्वपूर्ण भावना की भी धुरी रही है। महाकवि कल्हड़ ने राजतरंगिणी के प्रथम तरंग में कश्मीर में तालीम की बुलंदी को तफसील से समझाया था। आलोक के शारदा देवी एक बड़ी प्रसिद्ध लोक कथा है यहाँ महिम जी कि जब आदि शंकराचार्य कश्मीर आए तब वह शारदा मंदिर जाना चाहते थे, लेकिन शारदा पीठ के उस समय के विद्वानों ने एक शर्त रख दी कि यदि वे उनके सवालों का सही उत्तर दे पाएंगे तभी उनका मंदिर में प्रवेश होगा। कल्हड़ कहते हैं कि कश्मीर जिसका एक पुराकालीन नाम शारदा क्षेत्र था वह शिक्षा के मामले में उसी तरह प्रसिद्ध था जिस तरह काशी, तक्षशिला, नालंदा, नवद्वीप तथा कांची थे। कुछ रिसर्च स्कॉलर जिन्होंने शारदा की शिक्षा पद्धति पर काम किया है उन्होंने लिखा है कि शारदा क्षेत्र में प्रवेश के पहले विद्वता की परीक्षा होती थी और उस दौर में भी ग्रेजुएट को प्रमाण पत्र दिया जाता था और मुझे लगता है कि वही काम आज इस कन्वोकेशन सेरेमनी में यहाँ आपकी उपस्थिति में प्रतिपादित हुआ है।
Thanks for watching Kashmir News Service.